60%. Okay.
Yeah. Did you? 60% of like what?
Of the electricity.
Energy. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is coal. So, can we go to the next one? So, but even if, even for those folks who don't, whose light switches aren't hooked up to coal power plants, all these goods are manufactured using coal because coal is abundant and cheap and very powerful. So it's perfect for mass manufacturing.
That's why China is using up so much coal and making all our crap.
In fact, a lot of at least some of the stuff that's mined in the southern Appalachian coal fields is going to China because it's too dirty to burn here in the States, according to our standards. And so, where's all this stuff on all these conveyor belts going to? It's going to this temple of conspicuous consumption. You see down here at the bottom layer of this pyramid, there are all this McMansion country club neighborhood. On the second level, there are all these SUVs. And on the top, let me point to it here so you can see it better. On the top, there's this shopping center where all these goods are coming into. Now, one thing you might notice about this is that there are a few details. Like these houses have solar panels on them. These SUVs are hybrid electric-powered SUVs. And this mall is lit up with compact fluorescent light bulbs and has a big green leaf bandage, like Band-Aid over the top.
Because they all mean well, right?
They all mean very well, right? Does anybody have any thoughts about why we wanted to put that little slant on it?
You could be fooled in what you're looking at. Like the plug-in car is really a coal burner.
Absolutely, exactly, right?
Absolutely.
Because folks like Al Gore are telling us that all we need to do to fix this problem is replace X number of light bulbs with compact fluorescents, and all of a sudden everything's going to be fine, right? And we have to. It's really important for us to think about where our intentions to our very good intentions of reducing our carbon footprint, reducing our impacts, becoming more sustainable, where those can be used well and where we're getting scammed. Because when we buy these new energy efficient, Energy Star appliances to save on our electricity bills, where do last year's products go? Out the poop chute down here into the dump, right?
Tell the Prius story.
I'm good.
Awesome.
One story that I really like to tell is about, I read in a magazine article recently that, say, person A buys a brand new Prius to save on gas. Person B buys an old clunker that gets terrible gas mileage and replaces little bits and pieces until the thing just totally goes kaput and runs down to nothing. Then they buy another one and another one and another one for the rest of their life. The amount of fuel used by person B throughout their entire lifetime is not even close to the energy and resources that get put into building a brand new Prius. Right? We have to really take into account all of the factors, all of the costs that are going into these choices that we're making. Yeah.
I was gonna say, has anybody seen that cool cartoon called The Story of Stuff? There's this really awesome little animated cartoon. It takes about 20 minutes to watch. It's called The Story of Stuff. You can watch it on the internet, and it super breaks it down in this really memorable way, talking about the life cycle and the manufacturing of all our crap, and how us just going at things on a consumer level doesn't address like all the level of resource intensity to manufacturing and things like that. So anyway, I really recommend people watch this because it's very memorable, and it's all in cartoons too.
So essentially you see through this sequence that we're gobbling up, eating up resources, converting them into products that we can buy, and then as they become obsolete, we're spitting them out and wasting them, and they're just going, into this ever-growing pile of useless crap that may or may not be decomposing in landfills. And there's always I lost track of what I was saying. Let's just go to the next one. So also, there are a few other details on the power plant to help us understand that it goes beyond just the consumer economy as well. Notice that these transformers look like missiles. The smokestacks look like Gatling guns. There's a big American Eagle symbol on the power line towers, and this is to remind us that enormous amounts of energy and resources go into just maintaining the industrial infrastructure, into just maintaining the American empire. Coal is the fuel of the American empire. And in fact, the U.S. Defense Department is the #1 worldwide, #1 consumer of fossil fuels, #1 emitter of carbon dioxide. And in general, there's just this whole, you know what I'm trying to say, I just can't seem to find the words.
The war economy is dependent on concrete and steel and going to other places and taking people's shit, killing them, blowing up, breaking stuff, and then giving people contracts, giving corporations contracts to go then use more concrete and steel to break all of those things again, or build them back up, whatever. You get it. Like,
awesome. And
war is a huge consumer of coal,
Right.
is what we're trying to
Right.
get across.
thank you. And we were talking about this concept of like obsolescence, planned obsolescence, when all these products get thrown out. Your computer or your iPod is like useless within 2 years or something like that. Well, things like bombs and weapons are like the ultimate planned obsolescence. They're made to be destroyed, right? And so that you can continually make more and more and more. And now we're in this place where we're kind of, it's like we're going to war with the mountains themselves. 3 million pounds of explosives a day in West Virginia, just destroying these things and reducing them to rubble. And over the top of all of this, being fed by the smoke coming out of these smokestacks, is this huge hurricane swooping in over the picture. This is to remind us that coal is the most carbon-intensive fossil fuel, and we've been burning it for a couple hundred years now, the NASA climate scientist James Hansen recently went on record to say that if we stopped burning coal worldwide, that's 80% of the solution to climate change, right there. Something to think about, right? This thing. It's interesting. A lot of I don't usually say this, but I want to make a note. A lot of times people are we do presentations with audiences that are a little bit hostile. This is very different. But folks don't like to hear us say that there's a problem with our consumer society, that there's a problem with the way that we're eating things up so much faster than they could ever be replaced. And we've definitely had folks react really harshly and say that, but coal built everything that is America, right? One person said, "You hate America, don't you?"
You're anti-American.
Yeah. And that's true. The fact that it built, the fact that
All
it
of
built
these things are
everything
true.
is true. But
We love America.
but at the same time, it's killing us. What the hell are we doing building a society that's totally self-destructive and is like inevitably gonna wipe ourselves out?
We have a debate raging right now in this community, Bayshore, which if you came down to the river, you would actually be able to probably much see. There's a huge coal plant there, and there's a big expansion in the works, and some local folks have expressed concerns, but I think again it's back to language, and that if there were some kind of way that your presentation could sneak in there, and like that more folks could become aware of it, it could completely transform the debate. But right now it's just there is no complexity. I think in the opposition is just simply it's going to be, well, we don't want the pollution or something. A few folks, and they're going to be quickly, squelched by the corporation and all the issues of mercury, because those what Doug said about the 2 coal trains, they're going to Bayshore and they're going to the Whiting plant, which is in Luna Pier. They're both right along the lake and dumping the mercury in the lake, but